Okay, we want to resolve it to a partial fraction. So we have this proper fraction where the degree of the numerator is less than the degree of the denominator. Okay, great. So to do that, given that this denominator has what we call linear factors only, so we're going to have to resolve this to a partial fraction by, first of all, I'm going to put 3 fractions line here, all right? And then the next thing we'd like to do is to go ahead and put down the factors, each of them under each fraction line. So that is x plus 3 and then 2x minus 1. And if you'd like, you can put the sign here plus plus. All right, great. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is to find out what the numerators will be for each of these fractions. And keep in mind the numerator will just be a constant because we have a degree 1 in the denominator. That is, the factor here is just of 1 degree, of degree 1. So the numerator would be a degree less. That means it must be a constant. Okay, great. So since these are just linear factors, we are going to use the cover-up method here. And this is how it goes. To find out the numerator for this first fraction, what we have to do is to ask ourselves, which value can we put for x in this denominator to make this denominator to become 0? Well, this denominator x minus 2 will be 0 if x is equal to 2, clearly. So we come over here, we substitute 2 in place of x. Alright, wherever we find x here, we substitute what? 2. Keep in mind, we are going to have to cover this particular factor, this x minus 2, cover it up on this side, substitute x equals to 2 in this main fraction. So we're going to have, covering this last one up, right? 2 squared minus 1, that is going to be 3. Okay, 2 squared is 4, you subtract 1, that is 3. Then 2 plus 3, that is 5 times, well, 2 times 2 is 4, minus 1, that is 3. So altogether we have 3 over 15, which is something as 1 over 5. So the numerator here is just 1 over 5. Simple, right? Okay, great. Let's look at the second one. Okay, we ask ourselves, what can we substitute for x in these denominators to make this denominator to be 0? Well, if x is negative 3, this denominator will be 0. We come over here, this is x plus 3, cover x plus 3 up, substitute x equals to negative 3 in the other factors, okay, wherever you find x. So it's going to be negative 3 squared, that's just positive 9 minus 1, that will be 8 at the top, divided by negative 3 minus 2, that's negative 5, right, times, well, negative 2 times negative 3, that's negative 6 minus 1, negative 7. So altogether we're going to have 8 over 35, right? 8 over 35. Can we really do a thing there? I don't think so. Okay, and lastly, let's figure out, okay, this is 8 over 35. And lastly, we want to figure out what the last numerator would be. So we ask ourselves, what can we substitute for x to make this place to become 0? Well, you notice that if x is 1 over 2, right? If x is 1/2, then this denominator will be 0. So we come over here, cover up that denominator, and then substitute 1/2 into the other terms, wherever you find x. So this is going to be 1/2 squared, that is 1/4. Subtract 1 from that, that is negative 1 over 3. Negative 4 over 3. Sorry, negative 3 over 4. Okay, so we have 1/2 squared, that is 1/4, minus 1, that is negative 3 over 4. Right? Divided by, well, we are going to cover this up. So 1/2, that is 1/2 minus 2, that is negative 3/2. And then we multiply that by, well, 1/2 plus 3, that is 7/2. Right? So you can just check it out. Then we are going to have to multiply this denominator. Just let's do a simplification of this fraction. So I'm seeing that this thing will go, so we're going to have 3 over 4 divided by, let's say, 21 over 4. And of course, that's going to be 3 over 21, which is something as 1 over 7. So you just simplify that, you'll find that out. And that means we have 1 over 7 over here. Okay, great. And now, altogether, we're going to have this to become, well, 1 over 5 over this. All right, we can rewrite this as 1 over 5 times x minus 2. Okay, plus 8 over 35 divided by this, that is 8 over 35 times x plus 3. And lastly, 1 over 7 of that will be 1 over 7 times 2x minus 1. And this right here is the partial fraction decomposition of this main fraction over here, and the sum of all these will give us the main fraction. Okay, great. All right, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.